Hello, good morning. How is everybody? So, yes, today we are here to talk about people. I think there are some incredible brands in the market today, but those brands can only be as incredible as the people that work for them. So, without further ado, I'd like to welcome the panel to the stage. Firstly, we have Henrik from Tigrus Holding. Secondly, we have Lyndsey from MJS Holding. And finally, Roaya from Villa Mama.
Make an effort, please.
Is everybody turned on?
I believe so. Check, check.
Okay. We're on. Excellent. Okay. So I think, first of all, there might be some faces up here that not everybody knows. So I think we should just do some quick introductions. I'll start with myself. So I'm the co-founder of Food People. We are a talent organization based in the UAE, but we work mid to senior roles across the entire food chain throughout the GCC. I'll hand down to Roaya to introduce herself.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm chef patron of Villa Mamas International, with branches in Bahrain, Chelsea, London, Riyadh, and Abu Dhabi. And I'm happy to be here with you, sharing my expertise.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Lyndsey with MJS. Most of the group will know about some of the restaurants, very nice brands that we've managed to bring into the kingdom so far. Inshallah, going international soon as well. Very strong focus on people, the industry, genuine hospitality. And my background is Hyatt Hotels, but very happy to have made a transition a few years ago into restaurants.
My name is Henrik Winther. I'm Danish, grew up in France, United States, and had lived many years in Russia, where I've opened up 450 restaurants in the last 30 years, now expanding into GCC markets with my brands, planning to open up about 100 restaurants in this region over the next 4 to 5 years. Glad to be here.
Thank you, Henrik. So I think let's start with, of course, the Saudi market. And what we've seen, certainly since COVID, the demand for flexibility, and more importantly, the new generation that's coming through, their demand for flexibility and new ways of working. I'd like to put that out to the group first, because I do believe this is one of the most challenging topics at the moment for businesses to balance the service industry, but also give people that flexibility that they're looking for. So, Lyndsey, I'm going to start with you. If you could just share your insights on that topic.
Absolutely. I think the impact that COVID had across the globe shifted the industry completely, and the challenges that land with employers to be flexible, listen to their team members, and drive culture. It's not. I don't believe there's necessarily an answer to all of it, but it's certainly with the mindset from the leadership perspective to understand that not everyone's driven by salary or paychecks, and understanding the focus that people have when it comes to engagement, their lifestyle, and building and integrating this into the workplace is a key point.
And Roya, you have a very interesting approach on talent. We were talking outside, and you mentioned that currently you have 100 people, but you sit at 40% Saudization.
Absolutely.
Talk us through how you did that and what your methodology is.
Well, this is the ethos that I go by. I work with a strong principle of growing local talents. This is who I am. And as challenging as it is, it's very challenging. Everybody sitting here knows how challenging it is to retain local talents. But we need to be patient. We need to be able to mentor, develop their talents. Training is a must. You cannot go blind-sighted on training. It has to be every single day. So it's been difficult, but attainable. And I think Saudis especially, they have hospitality engraved in them. So we don't really make an effort with them in that area. But on other area that you mentioned, that they need time to spend with their families, with their friends, especially youth. So it's just a matter of patience, and they can be there.
Absolutely. Henrik, you're about to enter into the region in what sounds like quite a serious pace. You've opened over 600 restaurants throughout your career. What do you think you can bring to this market from a talent to retain and attract?
My life is about talent development. It's all about talent development and retention. And that's not about money. It's about culture, corporate culture, and giving people something more than a paycheck, giving them knowledge, giving them support, giving them comfort, giving them development, giving them professionalism, and this absolute total commitment to making every employee a superstar. That is the foundation. I only have 2 criteria for any employee, but they're absolute. Are they willing to? Are they able to? If they're able and willing, everything is on me, not on them, on me, 100%. What can I do? What must I do to grow and develop that person? And total agreement that that is not ad hoc. It is what a manager must do from morning till evening. That is his job. Pass knowledge, pass on professional information. And so for us, training and development is the business. It's not a sideshow. It's not something that's done once a week or once a month in a training class or somewhere else. It is just what people do all the time. So I haven't hired a good person in the last 10 years. I mean, a good person I have, but not a qualified one. The people in the restaurant business that set out to hire good people to run their business is in trouble. There is, in my opinion, only one way to achieve success in the restaurant business. It's to grow your own people. You can hire talent, but
100%.
If you rely on people's knowledge to run your business, you line up 10 managers, you'll have 10 different kinds of businesses. I
think that's an incredible philosophy, by the way. I think what's interesting is, you know, so much investment has came into the Saudi market with global brands, high leasing costs, ingredients, supply chain, everything's going up, okay? How do you balance that time that's needed for talent to grow, but also keep some of the people in this room happy in terms of making sure that that footfall is coming through the door and we're meeting that ROI? So maybe I can ask you that question, Lyndsey.
Yeah, sure. I would say that there has to be definitely a balance, and something that I've learnt since I've been in Saudi is that a lot of things happen, not necessarily organically, but they take a little bit of time. You were talking about patience. So it's about finding ways to integrate from, as you said, like managing the expectation that the guest has, and the expectation for Saudi consumers and visitors here in Riyadh specifically is very high. So when you want to make sure that, yes, the training is essential, so dropping bits of training through in short sessions works better. It also works better with the younger generation because they don't tend to want to focus for that long. The style of training and learning and development has shifted a lot over the years. And then remembering that at the forefront of everything that we're doing when it comes to hospitality, it's about the experience and the interaction. So yes, you know, there's a way to serve, there's a way to clear, but the genuine connection to create the experience in that sense, this is what Saudi people really enjoy. And you can feel it when people unleash their personality and bring themselves into the restaurant and that concept and understand the true concept of that brand, then it all tends to fall into place. With some mistakes along the way, but that's part of it.
Mistakes are good. Mistakes are good. I just want to circle back to your comment on willing to, able to. Now, I've been in recruitment for 18 years, and trying to identify willing to and able to are probably two of the most challenging things to be able to identify. And Roaya, you were in absolute agreement with the philosophy here.
Yes.
So maybe if we could just run down the panel, how do you identify those two things? Because I think many of us in this room will interview people throughout our careers, but if we're saying that's the two most important things, how do you identify that?
It's not love at first sight. You give the opportunity, you draw strategies, you identify your plans with the candidate, and therefore, thereafter, you need to then follow the development of this talent and give that a threshold time for both to understand each other, and then see if that person has it in him or her to continue with your organization. I've started a mentorship program a few years ago with Bahrainis in Bahrain, and when I opened in Riyadh, I did the same. And when they came to me, Saudis and Bahrainis, like locals, we consider ourselves one. Give them excitement. Make them excited. Don't push them in the sideline. Don't make them passive employees. Yeah? That's the only way you can retain them, basically. And whoever, you cannot be successful 100%. Do you agree? You cannot be 100% successful. But when you're successful, you have a plan to move forward. Yeah? And you have great team with you. I have people who started as trainees receiving like $200, and now they are over 10,000. I mean, they are now one of the best chefs, one of the best hospitality talents in the region. And I plan to continue with this, and I believe in them.
Lyndsey, how do you identify those two things?
In a very similar way to Roaya mentioned as well, I think when it comes to the willingness, opening the doors and making sure that people can see that the opportunities are available, and then, you know, it's for them to step forward into it. Capability, though, a lot of the things that we can train, we can teach. And hospitality, I think, is an industry, anyone who knows me will hear me say this a lot, it doesn't discriminate on background or education. And this is something really important. It really focuses on someone's passion, commitment, dedication. So that's where we can teach in hospitality. Maybe we have team members, maybe they can't read or write, and we do have team members, but if they show a level of commitment and interest, then everything can be taught. For Saudi team members, and again, I'm a big advocate for Saudi talent, Saudi youth. They're very expressive, they're super creative. Everything is always underlined with a very strong line of respect. So it's about us and our responsibility to open the doors to let people walk in and try. This is the
100%.
Character and personality, not experience. And very often experience works against you when you hire people, because people that are used to do something in a certain way tend to be stuck in what they know. So it's harder to break them out of that and teach them a new way. And with Tigrus, there is only one way. There is a corporate culture, a corporate philosophy, a strategy, an ideology that everybody needs to buy into. So we are not a mixed match of different corporate cultures, let's say, or visions. We have a very strong and pronounced corporate culture, and we hire people, character and personality to fit that. And again, if you are willing to and able to, you're part of the team. And yes, grow, develop, and become a true professional is my job, not even his job or her job, because it depends on how much we are able to provide to each individual. So that's how I would characterize that difficult process of finding good people, but I prefer personality and character over experience at any day, because I can always teach them what I need them to know.
It's a very interesting topic, corporate culture, I think, within F&B, particularly when we're in a country where franchising is a core fundamental of this country. And I don't want to go off topic, but I think this is why it's so important that franchisees and franchisors have to have such strong relationships. And where I've seen culture break down or recruitment not work, it's been because of that relationship, the brand guidelines, and actually what is done in store. So I just thought I'd touch on that, because that's certainly something that I've seen over the past few years. We're just over halfway through, and I want to touch on trends. And I think the trends in talent change very, very quickly. And if we think about the last few years, again, without touching on COVID too much, the big trend that we noticed as a recruitment business was the demand for really high and strong healthcare and benefits. That was the biggest trend coming out. It was, what does the healthcare look like? What happens if this happens again? Move on to today, and we've seen the cost of living increase, housing prices have increased, schooling has increased. We're starting to notice that the shift is now moving back towards cash, okay? But the F&B business doesn't always have deep pockets of cash to be able to fund those salaries. So what trends are you seeing, and how do we balance the desire or need for cash compensation rather than total reward? Difficult question to answer. Who's going to go?
I'll give it a shot. We are paying no more than the market rate, but our staff turnover or management, our turnover is about 30–35% less than our competitors. That is due to our corporate culture. People don't work just for a paycheck these days. They want meaning in their life. And as part of our corporate culture, including our value system, there's 5 values that dictate absolutely every decision in every restaurant at any level, every day. One of them is social responsibility, where as part of Tigrus, we're saving tigers, we're saving rare species, we're very ecologically focused, we don't use plastic, we're part of zero waste, we're zero CO2 emission for 8 years already. So we absolutely do everything that is possible to be a socially responsible company. But that is not just me that's doing something. It is the team that is deeply involved in those activities. They are more the drivers of that than even me. I may provide the direction, the leadership, but the fact that people get more than just a paycheck, more than just daily development, professionalism, growth, training, they receive this broader meaning about what life is all about. And there's many side effects of that. That unique corporate culture creates a unique teamwork in the work environment. And I would say that is golden dust, right? People want to enjoy life. They want to feel good when they come to work. So it becomes a whole holistic system that people plug into. And you're absolutely right with franchising. When we do franchising, we don't sell just a signage on the facade or standards that are printed out. We bring on the franchisee into our corporate culture. And because that is the way we deliver the product to the guest. So it's not like it's a disjuncted kind of process. It is the delivery mechanism for a unique experience to the guest, which is we don't sell food. I'm convinced we in Tigrus, we don't sell food. We sell emotions.
Thank you for mentioning that. That's very, very important point.
So once you set your business model around selling emotions, it assumes that you know how to manufacture emotions. Otherwise, you sell a product, you don't know how to it's not a very viable business model. So once you kind of plug into that, and everything you do in the business at all levels is consistent with that, day after day, then you're starting to make progress. And you're also right, the restaurant business will never be perfect because it's a people business. But by having this laser focus on what's important in the business, you become better than the competition. And that's the name of the game.
Thank you. Lyndsey?
I was just going to add a point that I think anyone who's been working in the hospitality industry, most of us are not here for the compensation point. We're kind of strange and weird characters in that we're really passionate about our business. It's important to be competitive, but beyond that, I think when it comes to looking at compensation packages, it has to be sustainable. So building something, and in Saudi in the last years that I've seen some businesses come into the industry with really crazy packages, it's not sustainable. So as much as people get excited and some people will move quickly, you'll see that the trend will kind of balance off over time. It's just about people staying strong and keeping culture and purpose at the forefront, and this is what will retain the talent in the long term.
Absolutely. I just want to ask for Roya's comments in this, because we have two people here that have, in big organizations. I set my company up self-funded. You set your company up self-funded. We don't always have the competitive edge when it comes to packages. Maybe I'm wrong, but this is a prediction. What have you done differently to have such a successful brand, retain Saudi people, but at times may not always be on par with the likes of MJS, as an example?
As I said, I'm keeping them on their toes. I'm keeping them excited. I'm mentoring them. They love to see me around. Not to belittle any of my team, I love them all, but the leader, seeing the mentorship with them, working alongside them, gives them that passion to continue, and I make sure that I'm here all the time.
Excellent.
So basically that's it, yeah.
One thing I just would like to raise, because it's certainly something that we've noticed over the past few years, is that prior to the pandemic, loyalty and time in role was a lot longer, if you look at it as a stereotype. Whereas if you look at a lot of talent today, and particularly over the past 3 years, you may see 2, 3, sometimes 4 jumps. Now, there's 2 different ways of looking at this, because quite often people forget there was a lot of displacement after that. But unfortunately, great talent gets pushed away because of these moves. And to try and educate leaders, particularly line managers, on that is a challenge. We face it every day. So I just kind of wanted to get your thoughts as leaders sitting here today. What is it that you look for? How do you identify loyalty? And what is it about someone that makes you think that they'll stick around? You can go ahead.
So I'll speak about Saudis. Okay, we are not different than Bahraini talents, but I will speak in particular about Saudi talents. Once you lose sight of them, once you stop caring, once you stop giving them some responsibilities and some appreciation for their daily, improvements, daily giving to their positions, then they feel discouraged and they will start looking for another job elsewhere. So if you want to keep them, you need to really focus on them and develop an HR system. Hamad Jawa, you did good. So yeah, it's building an HR system good enough to maintain those talents. And I'm here for you anytime.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of discussions to have after this, Roaya. Following from that as well, it is really challenging because when you're at the beginning of the recruitment or kind of starting to go into selection, and you can see people's movements, keeping in mind everything that's happened in the world and whatnot, it is a little bit challenging. And I'm going to sound, I always feel that I'm getting older when I make these statements that, you know, it depends on what the role is that people are moving to. So if it's to jump to the next position, like I coach a lot of younger team members around creating a solid foundation, because nothing beats experience. And if you're moving too fast and you're kind of always aiming for that manager, that director position, and you achieve it within a certain time frame, you really have missed. Experience only comes with time. That's where I feel really old when I say that, because it's what used to be told to me. So just checking and asking questions and really going into the depth of someone's experience to see if they have a true understanding or if they've skimmed the surface of a topic. This is some advice.
Yeah, I think it's super interesting, particularly with the new generations coming through, because they want to move so quick. Like, we promote people at Food People, and I remember when I got promoted, again, now I sound old, and it was like the best thing ever, right? You'd run home, tell your parents. Now, the first question is, what do I need to do to get promoted again? Literally the first thing they think about.
Agreed. Yeah.
So it's a really, really interesting shift.
Can I just jump? I know we're out of time.
Yes,
just one very short input on that. You earn their loyalty.
100%.
It's how you get the loyalty you deserve. There's exceptions, obviously, but that's basically the bottom line. The stronger commitment you have to your team, the more you invest into your team, the better you make them feel and share the future, the bright future for the company and for them, the more they trust you, they believe in you, and show you loyalty.
Absolutely. We are out of time, but do we have time for any quick questions? No, I'm being told no. If anybody has questions, please feel free to grab one of us after. We'd be happy to catch up, but thank you.